Many of you guys don't even use your core when you exercise, or you try to squeeze everything all together. One secret is learning how to control your abdomen, control the rectus, control the diaphragm. I can't even do all that. I thought I was doing well. Check this out. So look at this. So we're here with Jill Miller today, and she teaches people how to gain control of their body, and she got some other depths. She's got some other depths of the core. And so what are the steps that we're going to learn today?
Well,
to do that,
the first of all, I was holding my breath out the whole time while doing that.
Yeah.
And then you interrupted me. I can hold my breath out for a really long time. So the first
that
thing is
me.
autonomic control. You need to have control of your breathing and able to be in that space of without breath and be comfortable there.
Great, so we're going to learn to relax our abs. Okay, number 2.
Well, relax everything, and then relax your abs has to come along with that. So they have to be completely passive in order for this to happen.
So most of you guys maybe try to squeeze your abs too tight all the time. It's always about tightening the abs. So the first step to learning is learning how to completely relax your abs.
Turn them off.
Off.
And then the third thing is...
What was the second thing?
The second thing was being able to hold your breath out. So some breath mechanics.
Breath mechanics.
Yeah.
And number 3?
Number 3 is then to be able to actually stretch your respiratory diaphragm. You gotta get your diaphragm out of the way in order to do this really strange churning action, because this churning action happens when the diaphragm has basically gone home.
Step 3, like you guys ever seen Terminator 2? Whenever Predator, he like opens his whole face. Ah! You're gonna learn how to do that with your ribs. That's step 3. So let's do it. Hi, Jill.
Hi,
She's
Mike.
teaching me about fascia. I told her, I'm like, I don't know that much about fascia.
Ah, I see what you're getting at.
Yeah. I know skin, I know muscles, I know ligaments, tendons, connective, I know different conditions that are associated with movement patterns, and I know fascias, like it's got like tensile, like plantar fascia, it's strong, and it's like tight and tensile,
Sometimes.
and things connect to it,
Yes.
muscles connect to it, tendons connect to it, it kind of pulls, kind of keeps, it's like a...
It's your seam system. It's the thing that everything is interconnected to. So if you didn't have your fascia, you would just be a collapsed pool of fluids on the ground.
Sweet. Okay.
Which your beasts would come and lap up right now.
It reminds me of a meme. They said the pictures of the boneless chicken farm, and it was just a bunch of chickens just flabbed on the ground and blobs.
Right, so that's the thing.
Yeah.
So it's your seam system. But you have different layers of fascia within your body. So there's famous fascias, like you mentioned, the plantar fascia, the IT band is a famous fascia. Like these are two
famous
fascias.
fascia.
They're famous fascias.
Good
but
business.
Beyond that, next level would be like knowing Tom Myers anatomy training. So knowing these tensional lines of health. Brilliant system, and it's extremely effective in all functional training, massage therapy. But there's other layers of fascia that are intriguing and are important to our health and our well-being.
How do I find out about these fascias?
Well, you can just pinch your abdomen.
Wait, is it in your book?
Yeah.
You fascia shit in here?
I got lots of fascia shit. It's fascinating. Thank you. Thank you.
Nerd. Where's the fascia shit?
It's all over the place. So the whole book, the role model, tells you how to meet your seam system in each of the fascial layers.
Is this all about fascia?
Well, it's all about whole body soft tissue integration and also the emotional connections to you being the agent of change in your life. Instead of being a role model.
Yeah, agent of change. Like we gotta change we gotta fix our shit.
Exactly. It's total fix your shit stuff.
Cool.
But in terms of like the layers, you've got the chubby stuff on the outside, that's the superficial fascia. Yeah. Right? So that's everything that's underneath your skin. And it changes. Like on the back of your tricep, it feels different than say the superficial fascia on your nose. Like most people don't really worry about losing weight.
I want my body fat tested right here.
Exactly. That's exactly what you want the caliper.
I'm 0.01% body fat, in case you're wondering.
And then deep to the superficial fascia, there's a sliding zone, and a great place to find it is here. So if you pinch your abdominal superficial fascia and you move it up, well, yeah, just move that lump up or down. You can feel that there's kind of like a hard stop. Right? Yeah. So that's your stretch barrier, and that the movement of the superficial fascia here, it's moving over another layer called loose fascia or fascial interface. But this is your gliding zone. So this is where we get differential movement. Right, and then it comes to a stop there. Meaning if I turn, I could hit a fascial, you could stop me. Well, you're probably hitting a hard stop and a soft stop. Right, because you have bones contacting each other. But if I hit a soft stop, Yeah.
That could come before a bone stop.
Absolutely, right? And so that's the soft tissue
but I can rip through it.
You can totally shred
I can't rip through the bone stop though.
It would hurt.
Right.
And it would damage, and it would overstretch, and then you'd have a problem.
Okay.
Right? So you have that, but then we have the famous stuff, the deep fascia. The deep fascia is really famous because...
She's smart.
Go ahead. Because of functional movement, we've become familiar with these trains of connections. We have been. So this is the tensional stuff, the really hard tensional stuff that stops you in a stretch. Whereas like you don't really think, oh, is my fatty layer stopping me from movement? There's a lot more movement to it, a lot more differential movement. But so we have these three layers: the superficial, the transition zone, which is also known as the loose fascia layer, and then the deep fascia. And they all have different special things that they host for your body to integrate you as a whole.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, how does this tie in with what we're gonna? How does this help me and these people?
Well,
mostly meat.
Help your meat. Yeah. Well, you can't move without influencing. I mean, there is no movement without your fascia being a part of that. So the emphasis on, like, for example, in the fitness industry, people want to lose weight. Well, the layer that you're losing weight from is your superficial fascia layer. It's your fatty layer. So that's interesting, right? Okay. You're trying to change your shape. You're actually trying to affect shape change in your fascial layer.
Okay.
And there are things you can do to do that, right? You can change the way you're moving. You can.
Can I just stand on a vibrational plate?
Yeah.
Am I less fat now?
I'm not sure about that. But you will stimulate your nervous system. The nervous system perforates every fascial layer, as do your blood vessels, it's a highway for cells to go back and forth between different parts of your body. Your fascia is a living matrix that's full of cells that live there and then cells that move through them. Your fascia is made up of fibers that have bizarre properties that are very complicated to understand. But this is all of you. So why you would want to investigate and tease it a little bit.
I'm all about that.
Yeah, because it's actually, when I say tease, like it's literal. Most of your proprioception is embedded in your fascial tissues. That means your body sense is loaded in your connective tissues.
Put those little receptors in the fascia.
That's right.
Well, let's do some shit.
Let's fix some shit.
I want to learn through the movements.
You got it.
Can we start?
Yeah. What do you want to do?
Maybe
start with
abdomen?
Yeah.
Yeah? Let's do it.
So, of course, I'm taking my shoes off to do gut stuff.
All right, me too.
Just want to get into your birthday suit.
Oh, birthday suit? You ready for it? Or you say birthday food? Sorry.
Birthday fascia.
Scallops.
Are you a black pearl guy?
Black.
All right, so Andrew's already deep in it.
Screw him.
Which is great.
Me. It's almost my birthday.
So I think one of the easiest ways to start meeting is through your guts.
His birthday's tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. Birthday suit?
Birthday suit, birthday boy. That's the Gucci belt.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah. I'm just distracted by the belt.
Good. It's at eye level for you.
Yeah.
I try to draw people to the belt.
Get down here.
It's safer to draw people to the belt. Okay.
Neither above nor below, just the belt. Just that orbit around your pelvic girdle. All right, come on down. So,
hi, Katie.
A great way to introduce yourself to fascial layers is through, this is a super mobile area of most people's bodies in terms of the superficial fascia, but we're going to need lots of things. Yeah, right? Can you see how it moves and it kind of shimmies and it shakes and it bobbles around your navel?
See it here.
So where I want you to actually meet it, he's going really into I would say kind of an advanced position, going right into the gut.
I'm advanced.
Well, before we go and tell the audience, I've learned through him and just through my own exploration, I've learned in the last year and a half or so how to better isolate and move my body with my core muscles. And I have, this is probably more defined, I've been eating some cheesecake recently, but my core has more definition and more mobility and more control than ever. So I'm excited we should start a video off of that.
Oh, absolutely.
What you did.
What did I just this?
No, whenever you.
We can do another.
with
We'll
my
do another
nollie?
video.
Yeah, we'll plug that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the...
This ball's soft. You sent us these before, yeah?
Yeah, I sent them a couple of weeks ago.
I didn't know what to do. They're just throwing them at each other.
There's so many things you can do with them. So, here, lay on your side. Take the Coregeous ball and bring it into the side of your waist. So it's not on bone, that you're gonna let your pelvis and your rib cage surround the ball, and you can lay on your side. Often I'll just put my hand...
Gladly.
Right, I'll put a block underneath my head and rest on the ground, or if you feel like you can get down there, you can. So one of the places where I like to start with introducing people to their core fascial layers is by using the ball as biofeedback for breath. So take a breath into the ball deliberately to change the shape of the ball. Just a few times like that.
Oh, I see. I see.
To it. So, one of the challenges that a lot of people have is with feeling the circumferential expansion of respiration. So breathing shouldn't just be happening in your chest.
having a hard time with that circumferential expansion.
Yeah, so we're trying to dilate your gut, basically.
Did I say it right?
You did.
Circumferential.
So take a breath into your waist, hold your breath, and then pack it in. I want you to stiffen all of the layers so that you can't even feel the ball. There's so much tension, and then exhale and let go. Great. And you'll feel that will just change the muscle spindle response. You'll be able to kind of like engulf the ball with more of your guts. Breathe in again.
Katie, get the photographer to come on in here. This is the time.
Hold your breath.
Oh, well, sorry.
Create tension.
Wait, let's go back. Am I going to breathe into it again?
Yeah.
Let's get distracted easily.
Breathe in. Hold your breath and then pack it in slowly. So think transversus abdominis, obliques, rectus, erectors, lats. Now slowly exhale. So it's even differentiating your intention into those different layers.
De-rectifying.
Last one, you're de-rectifying yourself. Breath in. Hold.
Am I breathing into that ball again?
Yes, okay. You're distorting the ball. So you're creating a concave shape.
Okay, let's see here. My angle's
Hold your breath.
Hold on. Wait, I'm start over.
Big breath in, big belly breath. You're doing beautiful. Hold and create tension, layer by layer, and then exhale and let go. Great. So then you got to do the same thing on the other side.
This is fun. It's good feedback.
It's really good feedback.
The ball's good feedback. I just thought it was highly deflated.
No, it should be.
This needs to be 60 psi.
No, it should be squishy so that it's not over-pressing into you. You want to work with it instead of against it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I like walking Andrew out here. This is fun.
Good.
You're going to upstage him with your Gucci belt.
That's good.
So,
that's all I can do.
So what I'm also seeing, Mike, is that you're a little bit biasing posteriorly, which is fine. So that gets that really interesting thread of the internal abdominal oblique insertion there, but just be on your side for...
So worry about the...
On your side. You got a belt in the way too.
This should be...
Can you drop your leg?
Take the belt off.
It's the belt. See, that's the problem with high fashion. I never wear belts. I belt myself with my core. All right.
I never wear belts.
I'm so annoying.
People who wear belts are losers. I belt myself with my core. I'll belt you.
But do you know what I'm talking about? Like weight belts?
Sorry,
so why use a weight belt if you can generate all of that tensional force yourself?
Oh, we don't use weight belts.
All right. Well, a lot of people do.
I just feel pants are a little big sometimes in a belt. So I thought. I guess I gotta expand more or something. Okay, here we go.
Okay. Breathe in.
Here we go.
Yeah. Second time, let's see with you. Breathe in, hold your breath, and then think transverses, then obliques, rectus and erectors, lats without turning blue in the face, and then exhale and let go. Can you bend this knee so there's a little more slack in the, yeah, there you go. Breathe in again. You're doing great, Andrew. I'm not having to correct you at all. Hold your breath. Create tension in each layer. I just want to bias your side a little bit more. Layer by layer by layer. Rectus, erectors, lats, and then slowly let go. Great. So this will just be acclimating yourself to the pressure, yeah?
This is cool.
And next, we take a little tour. So now bring the gorgeous ball into the side front of your abdomen, and that's going to actually uplift your organs. And oh, hello, it talks to your psoas a little bit, right? So it's
talk to me,
scooping the organs away, and so it docks the ball into the psoas. In this,
I haven't done that yet.
In this area, and then just depending on the relational tension, you might feel some smudging.
Do I lay down again? Kind of like, yeah, there's more right there. That's good.
All right, so you can do that contract, relax here a bunch.
Same thing?
Sure. You can breathe in, but I'm going to give you an additional instruction since we are on the psoas. Take this right knee over, cross it over. Yep. Oh my God. I can feel my descending colon very prominently
She
here.
feels her descending colon very prominently here.
And the contents therein. Okay, so
our audience is going to really enjoy that.
Take a breath in, hold your breath, and now activate all those core muscles, but then I want you to activate your psoas by trying to push the floor down with your left leg. So basically trying to initiate hip flexion with that left thigh, and then exhale and let go. And then see if you can navigate the ball a little bit lower towards the pelvis. So it's going to go into the ilia, right? The ball literally fits into the pelvic bone there like a baseball glove. It's like the perfect fit.
Can you throw me that yoga block, please?
All right, so
My
do that
neck.
again.
Katie, say hi to the camera.
I guess.
There. How's it? Are you okay with that head block?
Oh yeah.
Okay. You do
So
it.
this is, so you breathe in, you hold, you contract, and then you want to try to activate the muscle. So this would be like in what we call in the role model mapping. So we're really just trying to get familiar with these tissues and also turning off their threat switch. So we're affecting the muscle spindles with that contract, relax, and try to do it through your nose if you can, Mike. So that we create a lot of pliability. So like phase one in getting to know your abs is I've got to know where I'm holding unconscious tension. Most people have unconscious tension in their abs, just they want to look thinner.
Yeah.
So they're holding those tension all the time.
And they like push out into it too, a lot of people. They shove their stomach out like they're bloated.
Yeah, there's that.
We have a hard time, so hard for people to learn how to pull their ribs down with their abs.
Oh yeah.
So challenging.
Yeah, with the obliques and erectors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when I learned that though, I was like, oh, like I kind of didn't know there was, at least from my primitive brain, I was like, oh, top of abs activation, low abs activation. That was good. That's better than one.
That's better than just one.
Yeah.
All right.
That's where I am, just so you know.
Same thing, go to the other side.
What am I doing in the breath here?
You're done. I mean, we could spend a lot more time there, but I want you to map the same thing on the other side. So, here, help yourself. Spend more time there. So this is about creating that, basically creating an off situation for all the abdominal layers. Because once I have everything off, then I can selectively turn them on at will.
I get you. I got it.
Like a puppeteer, right?
Wait, where was I in this side?
Just like I can, yeah, so you want to get, remember, you go from the side, and then you try to scoop your guts up. So you can think of the container around your guts, lifting it up, and then sliding.
What do you scoop my guts up? Which way? Touch me.
Okay. So if I were doing this to you,
jeez,
what I would do, yeah, so relax, bend your knees. Bend both knees. Okay. Right, so you feel what I'm doing here?
Yeah.
And you're so passive, like your abdomen is so soft. So it's this idea of lifting, shifting the viscera temporarily so that I can actually get pressure.
I lifted, get out of the way.
Yeah, so that I can get into the psoas. Or I can affect pressures towards the psoas.
Okay, so I want to drag it up.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Ooh, it feels different.
Good.
This is awesome.
So
Jill.
we like to give as much tactile input into the body as possible because when you light up your sensory system, your motor system tunes up as well. Right, so this whole promise of...
sensory is directly correlated, increased sensory is directly correlated to increased motor?
Yes.
That's cool.
They're not
what
quite
she says
sure
is
why.
this. What she says is that the more you can feel, the more you can actually feel. The sensory is like someone touches your arm, your brain causes feel, and then motor is the movement. So the more you can feel, the better you can actually move that area. So if you just work on sensory, you'll be able to move better.
That's right. Because actually the nerve load, when you're there, you know, they finally have these new dyes and these new microscopes that can count individual neurons within large neural chains. And what they're finding is that it's 9-to-1 sensory and motor. So there was a recent study where they 9-to-1. So you have 350,000 individual nerve fibers coming from your neck and streaming down the brachial plexus. Out of those 350,000, 90% of them are sensory fibers.
Oh shit.
And only 10% are motor. And that's also true of the vagus nerve.
That's interesting.
Which there's some variances. Some say it's 80% afferent. Some say it's closer to 90% afferent, and then 10% motor. So it's
afferent means
upwardly flowing. So from body to brain rather than brain to body.
Motor's the other way, guys.
And so if we have this abundance of intelligence in our body, but we're not picking up on it. We have to stimulate ourselves in novel ways to actually perceive ourselves. And especially as technology...
You guys have to stimulate yourself in novel ways.
Especially as technology overtakes our senses with VR and our cell phones and computers as our main modes.
We lose touch.
Literally lose touch. Literally.
We lose sensation.
Are you doing the...
I just did a 10-day silent meditation retreat.
I know, I'm so impressed with
Vipassana. And we actually learned for 10 hours a day, focused on just feeling.
Yeah.
Imagine you had a quarter, and then the quarter was on top of your head. We would sit there until we can feel sensation just on that part of the scalp, then move it over. So we gain sensation piece by piece to uncover. I wasn't able to complete the whole thing in 10 days. Like I only got part understanding. But it's the same with the body. Like we teach people generally, we teach people how to gain control of their movements and stay aware of their body position throughout the day.
Yeah.
Now we're going another layer deep with this right now.
Because
Jill said fun in novel ways, because the truth is, it's fun. Like this is different. This is exciting as a ball pushing in my stomach. It's different and it's enjoyable and it's stimulating. So if you're doing something you're bored with, you're not going to be in it.
No.
You have to,
one of the other things that's happening to you is he's getting mellower and mellower, which is like a miracle, right? Mike is, you're a very animated person. Because it flips your stress switch. Like part of what we do when we mobilize the guts in this way and maneuver ourselves into this abdominal region is it turns on your interoception. So interoception is your subtle sensing, your physiological listening.
Interoception.
And the main feeder of that,
for you Spaniel, it's interocepciones.
Is the vagus nerve. And so it turns them into a parasympathetic person. Oh, I was going to use that.
Your vagus nerve is one of your cranial nerves.
Yeah, it's massive and it moves. It innervates your heart, lungs, airway, your face, and deep in the guts.
Cranial nerve number 10.
But he's massaging his guts, he's breathing, he's down regulating, he's going into a recovery state, he's about to pass out. Oh my God. Medic?
Throw things at him. Usually responds to aggression.
Aggression? Just pelt them with the balls? So, did you go into your iliacus?
I mean...
Get up in there, dude. It's gnarly. It feels really good.
Let me really good up there. You're like,
Feels super
there.
limber.
Ooh.
So you guys just
like,
you guys just go. You just
this.
go and go and go, and then he cuts clips. Is that what he does?
Nope. You're just gonna go and go and go, and they're gonna get what you're talking about right now as well.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you've got in your iliacus. Now some other like cute things you can do is you can think about your bones. You can do bone movements. So you can posterior, anterior tilt here. You can think about moving just one ilia.
I'm most interested right now, and I think they are as well, about just getting control over the abdominals.
The abdominals. Okay.
I think it's a good focal point.
So then let's get back to that. So
this is really nice. Like this.
I agree.
It feels, just guys, it feels really nice.
this is also, again, it's like a soft thing. So when you use a hard thing, your body feels threat.
See, I know. I would have a tendency of like, give me a fucking like a bowling ball.
What was the first tool you used in the office back in the day?
The drill?
Yeah, it was an actual Sawzall.
Sawzall. I was like, I was telling patients, like, look, if I hit your bone, I'll chip part of it off, but I won't do that.
Well, it doesn't have to hurt to work. And you want your nervous system to give you permission to go there. And so you're making peace with your own stress response.
I usually ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Well,
go ahead.
You're asking forgiveness or whatever. You're making a connection with your stress response. And then now we can party. So now to meet the layers, what you do is you'll start to scrub across your abdomen slowly and gently and rocking through the obliques, the rectus sheath, back and forth. And we always say slow for the win with this stuff because you want to move at the speed of fluids within your body. And specifically...
Yeah, the speed of the omelet in my stomach.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm so haunted by it.
Shouldn't have got the queso.
I'm very haunted by the buffet this morning myself.
Buffet?
Yeah.
Did you go to Old Country Buffet?
I went to Tourist Buffet in Carlsbad. Yeah. So you move slowly, and you want to really think about moving these layers of connective tissue that are surrounding each abdominal layer. So you have the rectus, which is wrapped in, your rectus is wrapped in your obliques. It's wrapped in the external obliques, it's wrapped in the internal obliques, it's wrapped in the transverses. We get really stiff here from trying to pull it in all the time.
Am I trying to relax this thing now?
Well, no, right now, well, so if it's uncomfortable, what you do is you can go back and forth with the contract relax. So you turn on your tension.
Yeah.
We call that the tubular core in yoga tune-up, and then you let go, and that's the receptive.
Oh, I'm gonna alternate between a tense and then a relaxed down.
Exactly. Or scale it, change the parameters of it. Because you can just tension the transversus abdominis, then I'll actually get more differential movement or more gliding in my obliques and rectus. Or I can just tension the obliques and transversus, and that will give me more movement.
I like the idea of going, I'll go stomach, I'll go center rectus, contract. Yeah, I can't recall like letting it go this much.
Yeah.
Because I try to keep it a tone to it.
Well, you want to use it, it wants to be used appropriately. You don't need to be braced for life every day unless you're fighting a war.
Right. And when we talk about brace, we always talk about it on a dimmer switch.
Yes.
So maybe a 0 if you're sitting, or a 1 if you kind of are walking, and then if you're gonna deadlift your max, turn the dimmer up.
Absolutely.
Most people don't even control over the dimmer switch at all.
So this is exactly.
They don't even know it's there. They're just walking in the dark. Oh,
perfect analogy. Like this is giving you sense of that dimmer switch, and so then you have more control. If you're able to sense each of these degrees of tension and the degrees of relaxation, then you have options. Otherwise, you're either on or you're off.
Right. Degrees. Like gaining degrees.
Shades of.
Like 50 Shades of Grey.
Gray.
That's right.
This is going to give you 100.
This is 50 Shades of core. Gorgeousness.
Yeah.
You are gorgeousness.
All right, next level. Are you ready? So this is just basically called this cross fiber in the role model. Next level now is to create shear. So
I've never let it go this much when I'm like my fucking organs are just like just moving around.
So the next layer, if you dare to go there, Mike and Andrew, I know you are ready.
Is this going to be a genital massage?
Wow. No, it's not going to be a genital massage. Funny you should ask. But
accident inadvertently.
That's a good thing though. It's healthy, right? Prostate. No, we do. I mean, we sit on this. We do all sorts of stuff. But no, but now this is about actually mobilizing the layers. So to mobilize a layer, you actually adhere the ball anywhere on your abdomen or even where your ribs start on your obliques. And then what you'll do, make sure you're connecting the skin, is that you then pivot.
Oh my God.
Until you feel
like skin drag kind of thing?
Like an Indian rug burn.
Right.
So you're twisting around
So you
the ball
twist it until you feel
Can you say that anymore?
a tolerable pinch.
Indian burn?
Yeah. Can you say that anymore?
No.
Probably not.
We don't,
People are probably
Native American burn?
Yeah.
Or worse.
Not so much. We want to just find a stretch barrier.
Oh yeah.
That's what we can say now.
So.
Someone gets someone arm. You can't get my stretch barrier.
Exactly. You're irritating my stretch barrier. Yeah. All right. So that's what you're looking for. You pivot until you feel a tolerable pinch. And then when you feel that tolerable pinch, you breathe. And in fact, you overbreathe because you want to induce a mechanical release here. So your breath is the massage tool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you don't have to turn like that much to find your stretch barrier. You turn enough, you find it, and then you breathe, breathe, breathe. You can hasten it or speed it up by doing the contract, relax. But it's nice to just like find that spot and nestle in for a good ride. And then you look for another little zone.
Oh.
And you basically, unquilt the tension that's all over your unconscious abdomen.
I feel my abdominal aorta pulsing.
So that is common. So if you feel the aorta pulsing and it's uncomfortable, like it makes you feel freaked out, because some people like that is a panic stressor for them, you just simply shift to the right or to the left. So there's less pressure directly on the aorta.
Oh God, I've never like let something get in my stomach.
We're gonna have to do this one for an egg video.
It's definitely an unusual place to go. And there are some therapists who specialize just in visceral work. They're friggin' amazing. They'll like go
Whoa, I
through
feel like
your...
a burst of heat down my left leg there.
Yeah, that's blood. Probably your femoral artery had a little bit of pressure on it there. It was good though. Okay, good.
Does it matter my direction?
Crush it. It can matter, especially if you're working with a scar. But you think about the different orientations of the different muscle layers here. You want to go in every orientation because you're packaged so beautifully.
Thank you. I've been waiting to hear that my whole life.
You are just impeccably packaged and wrapped in all these fascial layers at every possible vector. So twisting and turning at every vector will give you
impeccably packaged.
In every possible vector.
In all vectors.
Yeah, just to help people go, oh, I thought it was sexual, and maybe not now.
Nicely packed, nicely wrapped. And now you're unpacking all your packaging.
The other way now.
Yeah, and so you just think like about every single layer here, and you want to address that. Now, one of my favorites to do is, I'm an oblique gal, like I love obliques, I love them so much. So what I'll do is I'll go to it's called the costal margin. So you basically go to the flappy part at the bottom of your ribs. So you have some rib, you have some abdomen, and then you lay down. It just looks like the same thing that they've been doing. You're finding another zone. So you're underneath. You're finding another zone. So I'm finding my external abdominal oblique attachments and then spinning again until I find that. But here, what's interesting is now I can work on rib range. I can work on rib range of motion.
People always ask about rib flare.
Yes.
Good one for that.
So this would be something to, for sure, address rib flare. Not saying this is going to change rib flare, but it will make you aware of the soft tissue and hard tissue components that are a part of it.
That is torqued.
Yeah, it's major torsion. So then you can feel the upward rotation and the downward rotation of the ribs into the ball, because the ball is giving you, again, that feedback. But also if you're twizzling the ball, if you're shearing with the gorgeous ball, you're gonna get that shear effect on the oblique attachments.
Gee, that tattoo looks lighter already. You want to show the camera your other tattoo, Katie?
No.
The initials are TS for what it is. That's the street slang.
Yes.
Which is actually mainstream now.
Now it's just blistered and
Train.
The other big thing that you're meeting here is critical to you identifying your core control, and that's your respiratory diaphragm. So right here, when you're laying up in the rib zone, you're touching the diaphragm from the outside. It's not so easy to touch the diaphragm from the inside because it's tucked up way in there, but but you can slide your fingers underneath your ribs and you can touch. Or just pushing the Coregeous ball all over your abdomen, what you're massaging is the hoop skirt of the diaphragm, because the transversus abdominal muscle, it is, so your diaphragm lives, it's actually, you have two hemispheres. You have a right hemisphere and you have a left hemisphere. And as it's connected to these lower 6 ribs, it's also connected to your low back spine. But if I took these ribs away and I took all your other abdominal muscles away, what you'd have is, you'd have your diaphragm connected to the transversus abdominis. That's what would be left here. And that transversus abdominis and the diaphragm are in the same fascial zone. So whenever we put the Coregeous ball in our abdomen, you're always affecting tug, tug, pull, pull into the diaphragm
as well.
because of the fascial relationship. Yeah, because of the fascial relationship there.
On the transversus, that's cool.
Yeah.
So even though the diaphragm is not easily accessible, we can help release our diaphragm by working through our rectus, which is going to get to the transversus, which will subsequently release the diaphragm.
If you're working the rectus here, you're also working the transversus abdominis.
Right.
You're working all the fascia, all the interrelated fascia.
Anna, you're too close to me. How do we get here? All right, part 2.
All right, so part 2 is figuring out your rib mechanics, your rib dynamics. So those aren't your ribs, but they're here, right? So you have 12 pairs of ribs, you have 24 ribs, and they all bucket handle. They can move up and they can move down. They rotate up, they rotate down. And so in order to get your diaphragm to isolate and move it out of the way, to do all the nollie spinning down below,
Whoa. Yeah.
You've got to make sure that your ribs have full range of motion. So it's really easy to do with a Coregeous ball. You lay on your side, pack your Coregeous ball.
If you don't have a Coregeous ball, go wherever you are and just grab big rocks from the yard. Try that
don't
out.
get a rock. You want something with a lot of yield. So thank you. The Coregeous ball is a soft.
You see where I'm going with this
yes,
one?
I do. It's a soft inflated ball. You want something that is not going to break a rib. Number one, you can use
you can use
you can use a pillow, or you can use a yoga bolster. You can roll up a
Guys,
blanket.
buy a freaking Coregeous ball. These things look like $30.
No, it's not. It's 11 or 12.
$11.
Yeah.
Come on.
So you can lay down on your side, take your other hand, and this is called overpressing.
So I'm kind of going like a lap.
Overpress your hands into the upper ribs. So
Am I
basically,
right in the ribs?
Yeah. So well, you can go higher. No, I want to like in as many ribs as you can possibly
okay.
find.
So I'll start at the bottom, right about there.
Just in the middle of your rib cage.
Yeah, I'm in
then
there.
Take this hand
Yep.
and try to close your ribs together. So no, use your top hand if you have enough rotation in your.
Am I going straight sideways again?
Come here, doll.
That's done.
You,
that
no,
Bobby?
you don't have the
Stand there.
rotation. Sometimes that happens. So you just want to press the top hemisphere of the rib cage into the bottom. Now listen for the breath.
The bottom of what?
Listen. Breathe into the ball and into your hand at the same time. Try to pry your ribs open with your breath. Hold your breath there and then activate your intercostals. Get tight inside the rib cage and then exhale and help your ribs get smaller and close down. Hold, hold, hold. Maximally hold at the end of your exhale. Sustain that. Good. Now inhale, reinflate, hold your breath, create tension inside the rib cage, and then exhale, expel the air. Get rid of the air until you're absolutely empty. Overpress, overpress, shrink wrap the ribs. More out, more candles out on your birthday cake. More candles out. One more candle. All right, last time. Big breath in, get bigger than you've ever breathed before. This will be a hyperinflated state. Hold your breath, create tension, and then exhale, let go. Great. You really want to feel there's a shape change in the ribs, and that's critical because the diaphragm is attached to the inside of your rib cage, and so we want to help the diaphragm have something to go towards. Otherwise, you won't be able to get that deep suction shape when we do the nollie.
So my inhales, I'm looking to simulate the position where we're flaring them out.
Exactly. Your inhale, you're looking for
Should I switch
maximum.
sides?
Yeah, and then you switch sides. So you do like
We gotta
2
get an
to
air
3 minutes
conditioner
on one side, 2 to 3 minutes on the other side. But the good news is that if you were able to press with your top hand, You've already been overpressing that top one, so you don't need to do quite as many rounds on the second side.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right? So we're just, you think of the ribs almost as 12 circles, which they're not, but these 12 circles connecting together. Each exhale, you want to try to squinch them down, take advantage of not only the cartilage zone within them, but also turn on the innermost intercostals that help you with your exhalation. So exhalation training is really important for range of motion in your ribs and in your spine. So you hold the end of your exhalation. You can even try to express out even more air, more air, more air, like you're blowing out 20 more candles on your birthday cake. When you cannot manage that anymore, then you inhale, hyperinflate the ribs, knowing that your diaphragm is going to be challenged here. Hold tension, and then exhale. Great. So this is, I would call this diaphragm shaping, rib shaping work. And then now we've exhausted these muscles. They're now going to become very compliant and easily obey when we do that rib, when we try to help the diaphragm stretch to the rib range.
Now what?
Now what? We stand up.
I feel compliant.
You feel compliant. That's fine. Great. So you guys are going to learn the diaphragm vacuum next. This is critical. You cannot do...
We started.
You cannot do Nollie without learning the diaphragm vacuum. You're doing it right now. So what he's doing is he's spreading his ribs apart. Were you at the end of exhale when you did that?
What?
Did you exhale everything and then do that?
Yeah.
So you have to be without air. The only way to get that is to be completely without air.
If I take a breath in,
you can't do it.
Nothing happens.
No, because you're loaded, because the air has its own pressure and it doesn't allow the diaphragm to do that. In fact, the air pushes the diaphragm down. And so when you empty your lungs and the ribs move out, the diaphragm goes towards that negative pressure, goes towards the vacuum created by the air leaving your body. And so that's what I'm showing here inside the skeleton with these deflated Coregeous balls. But the way you can create it like really awesome is like this. So I call this the standing diaphragm vacuum. You'll inhale. I know it's exhausting, isn't it? It turns on your off switch. It relaxes your nervous system.
Turns on the off switch.
You'll inhale,
Does it not turn on the off switch?
Sliding your arms all the way overhead, link your thumbs, exhale, get longer as you exhale. And at the end of the exhale, you stretch your ribs apart, the diaphragm goes home, or it doesn't. So you can't have tension in here. There you go. So this is soft. We call this petting zoo soft. Soft and gushy.
I'm not good at holding my breath there.
Yeah, so that's a whole other class that we're not teaching. But someday I will. It's like going underwater. So, and really you're in a free dive position in this shape. So look at me again. I'll turn to the side. Inhale.
Damn, I felt some shit
Exhale.
turn on in there. Whoa. I just want to touch it.
So the reason I'm squeezing that and why they're poking this is that they're showing that I'm not activating my muscles to get that to happen. In fact, if I activate my transversus, because the fascial connection between the
You're just drawing your diaphragm up and it's creating a reverse vacuum?
I wasn't drawing it up. My ribs moved and my diaphragm goes along for the ride because the diaphragm's attached. So it's like a reverse action.
You're not sucking your diaphragm, you're just taking your ribs wide.
And then
as a result, it's pulling the diaphragm up.
And the pelvic floor.
And as that goes up, it creates a vacuum, everything goes with it.
Everything. So you get traction in your viscera and your organs.
I want to do it, watch me.
Yeah, okay. So you breathe in. Now you exhale through your nose, preferably. And then you want to get longer. Think of your fascia and your bones moving. It's not a muscle tension action, it's a letting go action. Then spread the ribs apart, just like you were on the Coregeous ball. Broaden them. Yes. You got to really work on that softening here. Soft,
Too hard, Mike.
Better. Yes. And so if you haven't trained the lining of your birthday suit, right? So we're looking for our slippery.
Too hard. Sorry, go ahead.
We're looking for our slippery insides here.
Yeah.
Like the deep inside, like the deepest of the deep. And we're trying to find independent movement of the diaphragm.
You're teeing it up for me, by the way.
It's easy.
It's impossible not swing at these. Regardless, even if this is on ABC, I still be like, fuck it, we're not going on that network.
It's really hot in here right now.
Yeah, we'll turn on the air soon.
Anyway, your diaphragm is moving. It's slipping and sliding
Shadow cave.
inside.
Right.
This is the most important thing you'll ever learn, guys. Because you can't really feel your diaphragm. You can just feel what it's connected to.
How do we do this?
That looks like you're making a bowel movement happen. I'm not going to teach that today. You can teach me that to me.
I don't know how to do it. I don't know
You
what
know
it
how to
is.
teach it.
I have no idea. I don't know what happens there.
Well, it looks like you're really able to press your diaphragm down and it
the
domes
opposite.
all of, it's exactly the opposite.
Perfect.
You're creating a lot of high pressure here. Great. Low pressure, high pressure. Low pressure, high pressure. Low pressure, high pressure. Well done.
That it? Go do that now.
Better.
Oh wait,
Soft.
do they have to learn how to do the roll side to side?
Yeah.
Now just do that. No.
Yeah. So now we have part 4. Nali Kriya. It's called Nali Kriya. Yeah. It's that rolling, that lateral rolling action, that lateral abdominal
I'm
churn.
not good at it yet.
So what, according to the yogis, this is a shat karma. What a shat karma is, it's a preparatory thing that you would do before you even learn asana, because they want you to be, to have a clean body.
was good.
So there's stuff they do, like floss their nose, they'll drink salt water and throw it up. Nali is one of the shat karmas. Nali is to give yourself an enema. The idea with Nali Kriya is to insert a catheter into your anal sphincter, squat into water, create a whirling vortex that pulls water up your colon. Oh, I've tried it.
Or it draws
And
it
then
up there?
It draws it up there.
Like siphoning gas out of a tank?
Isn't it bizarre? And then you create that same vortex and then you're able to expel it. So it's how you give yourself an enema.
How are you sucking out? You just put your butt in water?
I haven't been able to do it.
You just put your butt in toilet water and suck it up?
Not
big
toilet
straw?
water, in the bathtub. So you go
You
in the
need a
bathtub,
straw?
use a catheter or a straw, yes. But that's what it's for. You can I didn't make this up. I'm
Those
just reporting
curly
it.
straws, you like twist it up there.
I will be attempting this at some point.
Yeah. Well, this
Most
big old-
uncomfortable.
You need a boba straw.
But there was
boba.
that guy back like who used to make,
Not cardboard straw though. I'm like, God damn it, my sphincter, cut it off.
he would sing out
I have
of
a
his
strong
butthole.
sphincter.
That's wonderful, right? Like he used to be able to sing with his farts. I mean, like this isn't a thing. Like you can draw air up and out.
No.
Why am I still single? I could fucking sing with my asshole.
Exactly. I don't think he's alive anymore. Anyway, so Nali Kriya, interesting history, but don't worry about that. Please
Come on,
don't do
teach me
that.
how to roll my goddamn stomach.
It is. It's an abdominal massage.
Just do
That's
it.
what it is. It's an abdominal massage. You can do it with a gorgeous ball, but you graduate to this, and it's motor control. It's a lot of motor control.
So I suck water in my ass, then once
Well-
I do that, how do I do this now?
So you get your diaphragm out of the way, and then once you get your diaphragm out of the way, you want to think about your obliques, and you want to activate them. And when you activate them, but don't let your bones move, you end up creating a rotation action.
You
which
activate
is-
both or just one?
all of them are working at the
Dude, I
same
don't know if I
time.
can get my
Watch.
notes.
So get your diaphragm out of the way after you exhale.
There's a lot of movement there. It's cool. I've done that a couple times, and then today it's camera shy.
Now I'm just showing off. So now I'm doing isolation. But if you look at my low back, you'll actually see the wave of oblique action going not just through the front, but it also
Oh, I did it.
You did it. Did the camera see it?
I saw a bulge.
Because if the camera didn't see it,
Watch.
you saw a bulge. Let's see. Good. Remember, you've got to stretch your ribs away from your pelvis. They have to be as hyperinflated as possible, as if you had taken a huge gulp of air. There you go. So Andrew, you're so
I was trying to reverse it back the other way.
Yeah. So you're getting better with holding your breath.
I'll be sore tomorrow. I'm gonna cough.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh man.
So sometimes you can try to stimulate it a little bit by over pressing into one leg and then over pressing into the other. And that sort of creates an extra closed chain that can help to fire the obliques on either side.
You doing it? What a loser. There we go.
Yeah. I mean, it took me 9 months to figure this out. A yoga teacher showed it to me.
Trying to do it in a week.
What's that?
Trying to do it in a week.
Well, you're doing amazing. But she showed it to me. I was 23, and I practiced it for 9 months. And I would do it in a closet that had a mirror. I remember I was in my friend Kirsten's closet in Chicago when I figured it out. I was like this, and I was looking. Yeah, it was the closet in Chicago with green carpeting. I remember it. And all of a sudden, I saw it, and it kicked into gear. But it really is an inside-out tactile experience, and that's why having like the Coregeous Ball help you to map these layers is really helpful. This isn't something that just springs online.
I saw the first time I did that, and my stomach wouldn't relax. I squeezed my left rectus and it fired. Yeah. I was like, whoa!
So let me show you one other way you can do this in a really simple way.
Is there a surgery for this?
No, no.
Shots?
So one of the things you see actually the muscles kind of collecting around the rectus sheath, right? So you see that loaf of bread. You see it looks like a loaf of bread, right? The rectus and all the fascia around it. So what you can do is you can lay on the ground, and I'm gonna exhale, come into that diaphragm vacuum, and then I'll just lift my head up and down, just the head, and you'll see it throws fascial tension, and it will pluck the rectus sheath away from the obliques.
Got it.
So you see how that differentiates it away
All you do is lift your head?
Yeah, it's not a sit up, it's a head up. So when you lift the head up and down, it sends tension through the longicoli, across the sternum. Yeah, it's not happening for you.
Broken.
But the other thing you can do, and this is what I'll do with my students, is I'll have them find the borders of the rectus, right? The borders of the rectus sheath. And this is where we get into a little bit of fascial dynamism here, is then I'll ask them to fluff or pluck, so relax as much as you can. Yeah, don't do the vacuum. Is I'll traction the superficial fascia, and that will pull on the entire rectus sheath, and so you can start to get some of that feeling of differentiating the layers. It does feel nice, doesn't it? And so this also brings us into, self-touch contact with the body. A lot of people
self-touch
have, stuff with touching their belly fat, but this is a really helpful mechanical stressor right now to help me find that rectus sheath.
Maybe we should, when we do videos like this, we should start off with like rated R. Like the old, like the movie thing. Put some advice.
Doesn't do anything.
Can you try to exhale and spread your ribs? Now lift your head up and down. So soft, soft. Go ahead, down and up. Now, this differentiation doesn't happen for everybody. I haven't seen it happen.
My neck muscles are just jacked.
So then, no, don't do the breathing. And you want to try to do the breathing through your nose if you can. Relax. Don't do anything. Don't do anything. Let go.
Do the vacuum and lift your head.
So then what I would look for here is the rectus sheath. And then just do some traction.
You're not supposed to lift.
Ugh.
Feel good?
Yeah.
Nobody's stretching this way anymore. It's sort of a whole new trend.
Nice.
Stretch away.
They need a device for it. It's like one of those things that grabs the stuffed animals. It's just like like a car, like an engine lift meets a.
Well, it's like when you lift the scruff of a puppy by the back of its neck. Right? It's the same concept. Like this, it actually feels good.
Oh, it does. It's nice.
And so this is one way that ultimately you can gain control of your abdomen. You've got to familiarize yourself with the layers. You have to be able to differentiate these layers. Everybody has them all. Sometimes they're interrupted by a scar. Sometimes they're interrupted by our own, the way we hold our body all the time. They're interrupted by overtraining.
This is additional from what we usually teach. We teach awareness of, usually we focus on, oblique, abdominals, rectus, and then we just say most of the stuff just goes with it. And people do improve, and including myself, I've made great improvements. But these are new layers that I was not familiar with.
Yeah.
Isolating each individual layer. Yeah, it's beautiful. It makes total sense. I mean, if that's body awareness, that's not, I mean, simple body awareness is like the skin, then you go a little layer deeper and deeper and deeper until you kind of be aware all the way through, like you're puncturing something in the front and out the back. And that's full, but that's actually
that's the thing, is this is so helpful for your back because it's all connected. There you go.
What's that, Andrew?
This is called Madhya Manali. So Madhya Manali is
It's a Madhya Manali.
So he's isolating this rectus sheath. And then there's trying to isolate the right and the left, which is Vama and Dakshina, which doesn't matter. Sanskrit doesn't matter. It's just, can I use my lineal as a partition, and can I actually know my body that well that I can subdivide all these different tissues and then integrate them together?
Definitely holding my breath out longer.
I am really relaxed though.
It should relax you. This is autonomic nervous system stuff. You can't get this if you're stressed out or you're hyped up.
So as a free diver, and Andrew as a free diver,
And it will make you more, you want to push full more. Yes, right.
95 pounds.
What you learned today, and what I learned, was to gain the abdominal control of firing individual muscles first requires the abdominal muscles to relax. Is to relax them with different massage techniques, from the Orgo ball or Orgio ball. Gorgeous ball. Everybody caught that. Right? And then you learn by twisting it, by moving around the abdomen, breathing into it, letting it air out, and you learn to really relax. I felt myself sink into some organs. That's step one. Step two is learning how to actively flare your ribs up. When you take a deep breath in, the ribs flare up. You learn how to do that without breathing in. And when you do that, the diaphragm subsequently sucks upwards, which draws everything up. Now, when everything's drawn upwards, then the next step 3 is learning how to individually fire the muscles of the abdomen, the right rectus, left rectus, transversus, obliques. And then you learn to gain full control of all your abdominal muscles. And when you do, oh my God, guys, you're just next level in everything you do. Everything. So that's awesome. Jill Miller, thank you so much. This is the gorgeous ball, and it is as gorgeous as you are.
Aw, thank you.
Love it.